This is how you do it. You ready? What's up, everybody? Shane here. I got Bob, I got my gardening gloves on, and right now I'm actually breaking the cardinal rule in martial arts. Oh, come on. No shoes on the mat, man. But as you can see, it's a bit of a construction zone here in the Fighttips Dojo 2.0. So until Bob single-handedly finishes up the drywall for me, I'm gonna make do with what we have. So I'm gonna talk about today why I've been using gardening gloves in my training for years now. Oh, I'm sorry, Bob, I should have given you a heads up before I hit you. You ready to demo? Okay, cool. So there are certain benefits that these gardening gloves are gonna give you that traditional boxing gloves won't. And like I said, I've been doing this for years now. I started hitting the heavy bag when I was 8 or 9 years old in my dad's garage, and he had one of those canvas heavy bags. And if you've ever hit one of those bare knuckle, you know that after just a couple of punches, you're gonna shred up those knuckles, you're gonna start bleeding, and every time you hit something, your knuckles open back up. So I quickly learned to wear gardening gloves, and I've been using them ever since. So let's talk about why they help developing that punching power. First things first, I gotta whoop Bob's ass. Let's whoop Bob. Second thing second, let's define what power actually is. So the way that I always teach power is, I'll ask a question and I'll say, is it possible to throw at 100% speed but only 25% power, 10% power, 5% power? Is that possible? Can I punch Bob as fast as I can but only hit him at 5% power? Yes, absolutely. It's called control, my friend. And what you'll notice is it's all about the impact. All right, so I'm going to hit Bob. I'm going to throw at 100% speed, hit him with 10% power. Just hitting that first layer of skin, right? There's no jolt in the head as opposed to 100% now. You can see it really rocks Bob, it moves him a little bit. And this is a great drill, not just for sparring and understanding levels of power, but really recognizing your output. Because if you're only throwing at 100% from the beginning of a fight and you're going 3 rounds, you're going to be exhausted by the end of that first round. You have to understand what 50% actually is 50%, what 100 actually feels like, what 30 actually feels like, right? Next time coach goes, all right, everyone, sparring, light sparring, no higher than 30%, and your partner's like, all right, touch his gloves. You're like, whoa, buddy, hold on, let's do a sensitivity drill. This is what I'm going to have you do. Hold your hand up as a target. You go, all right, I want you to hit my hand with 100% power. You're going to throw 10 punches. Just drop each punch increments of 10%. So the first one's 100%, next one's 90, 80. Looks like this. I go 100 against Bob, 100% power. Now I drop a 10 to 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. All right? Everyone is a fast punch. But the impact, how hard I'm hitting Bob, how much force is being transferred from my fist into his head is dropping increments of 10. All right, so power to me is all about impact. How hard are you transferring that force into the target? Okay, so great drill right there for understanding your levels of power, understanding your output, great for energy conservation. So what are the benefits of the gardening gloves over boxing gloves? Well, I will say this. I'm not going to train going 100% power on a firm heavy bag with gardening gloves on. Why? Because I risk injuring my hand. That's the whole point of a boxing glove. It's the point of having wraps. I know people who are heavy punchers will even put an additional cushion over their knuckles, then wrap their hands, then put the boxing gloves on before they hit a heavy bag, right? Now a lot of heavy bags have sandbags in the middle. Very firm, right? Because you want to be able to throw 100% power. You want that resistance so you can build up your muscles. But again, you have to take care of your money makers. So then, why do I wear these when I go against Bob? Well, for one, the material that Bob is made up of has a lot of give, right? So there's going to be less force transferred back into my hand if I hit him hard. And also, I can use this just for convenience, right? I can also use it on the double end bag. Now, a double end bag's not very firm. It's not going to hurt my hand. It probably could do it for a full 3-minute round, you know, bare knuckle, but maybe I want to go hit weights after this. I want to do a circuit where I hit Bob for 30 seconds, I go do weights for 30 seconds, I go right to doing calisthenics, chin-ups, something like that for 30 seconds, and we'll see that a lot of pro-level fighters, high-level fighters like Triple G, Teofimo Lopez, who fights tonight against George Kambosos, will wear something similar to a gardening glove or maybe a football glove. And I think a football glove offers a little bit more compression, so it probably actually protects the hands a little bit better. But we also saw all of the early 20th century boxers would have those real thin leather bag gloves. And it's the same idea. It's really going to just protect the skin of the knuckles so that you're not chafing or cracking the skin on your knuckles. And then you can hit things, maybe like a soft heavy bag. You can take some of the stuffing out so that it's a little less dense. You can hit bob, you can hit a speed bag, you can hit the double end bag. And then you're not going to cut up the skin over your knuckles. But it's not going to really protect your hand. So now you have to really focus on proper alignment of the forearm and of the fingers and making sure that you're hitting with the correct part of the hand. And this is why I love the gardening gloves, is because I can focus not on just, all right, I'm gonna take my entire fist and smash it against Bob's head. Now I can really focus on being precise with, I'm going to hit with the first two knuckles and I want to hit Bob right on the chin. Or maybe I want to take this first index knuckle and I want to dig it right into this open cut that I got right above Bob's right eyebrow. Right? Really pinpoint accuracy with this, which you might not be able to get with the traditional boxing glove, right? Now the other thing that I mentioned, I'm going to take the glove off for this, is proper finger alignment. Now, the way that I teach when throwing punches is not the traditional gripping of the fingers where you squeeze your hand together like this. Now, the one thing I do like teaching for beginners, if this is all you can think to do, is I once heard it taught as imagining that you have a small piece of glass, a tube of glass in your hand. So you can see I have a small opening, and that's going to keep the integrity in the fingers and strengthen the ligaments and tendons a little bit more so that when I smash it against something hard, like someone's skull, I'm going to keep these tendons, knuckles, bones a little bit more protected. But what I prefer to use is fingers being opened. And what I've been playing with for the past year or 2 years is David Weck's core fist. And I'm going to teach this real quick, and I'm going to get a close-up shot of this. But it's the idea of triangulating the fingers. Okay, so real quick, the alignment on the core fist. What we're going to do is take the middle finger and try to get the cuticle to reach the crease of the thumb right here. Then we're going to take the ring finger and secure it, the index finger, secure it, then the pinky and thumb just lock it all into place. And the thumb is very important too because that's going to reinforce the wrist and just keep the integrity in the fingers. So we're just going to peg those fingers together into that triangulation form. And now we have it here. And it doesn't have to be 100% tight when we make impact. I've noticed over the years hitting, and it feels great, is I can keep this sort of just in position loosely when I make connection. And I have to make sure that I make proper connection hitting with the knuckles, not the lower half or the incorrect knuckles of the fingers. So now when I start to hit Bob, I'm going to freeze. You can see my fingers are still open here. Still a good punch. I still feel safe, and I still feel like I can transfer a ton of power into these shots. Right, as opposed to completely tightening it up. Still good, but if you don't get the timing down, you're still safe to go right here with these shots. And real quick, I'm just going to show you some images of fighters using this exact formation in shadow boxing. Now I play with this when I'm doing my bare knuckle training or training with my gardening gloves on, where I triangulate the fingers and then I reinforce with the thumb. And you'll notice what that does is it really strengthens the forearm to keep the wrist in alignment, and now I start to play with my accuracy, my precision of hitting with the correct part of my knuckles. See, look, it's cold out, so I already got cracks on my knuckles. Well, leads me to another point. Make sure that you're staying hydrated and lotioning up your hands, right? Whether you're using the O'Keefe hand lotion or just any type of hand lotion, make sure you're using those, especially as it gets cold and dry out. So again, proper finger and wrist alignment is huge, and it's something that you're not going to get the same benefit from with the traditional boxing glove on. So give it a try. Grab a pair of gardening gloves, whether they're lying around the house or you go to a home goods store, you can get them for under 10 bucks.
Now just be careful, you don't want to use any gloves that have a seam or stitching over the knuckles because that could irritate your knuckles upon impact.
Start to play with your finger alignment, your wrist alignment, and the precision of your shots. Again, I'm not just smashing Bob in the head, I'm going for the nose. I'm going for the chin. I'm going for the solar plexus. I'm going for the liver. Right, now I can be super precise with where I'm hitting, where I'm picking my shots, hitting with the proper knuckles, proper alignment. And you'll notice that even just when I'm in guard, I rest with a bent wrist. And I call it a bent wrist with quotes because most people say you got to keep a straight wrist. And I used to always think that was this. This is the straight part. But if you look, there's no backing behind the index finger and the middle finger right here. So a straight wrist is technically straight this way on the thumb side. So when I'm throwing these punches and I'm resting in guard, I got my hand open, because when your hand is open, you're going to be more loose, which means you're going to be quicker, right? And you're not wasting as much energy. As opposed to being a robot, tensing up muscles, using muscles that you don't have to. Keep the hands open, stay loose and relaxed. This way when you throw, you tighten up, you tense up, but all you have to do is get to here, right? Get the triangulated fingers when you land, and you'll notice you're not wasting any energy. You're not tensing up any unused muscles. Think about it and do it in slow motion. What muscles are actually being used? When I throw a punch, I don't have to tighten up anything on the left side, right? I don't have to tighten up the left arm if I'm not landing it. I have to tighten up the forearm. I have to tighten up the lat muscle, right? And that's about it. There may be some activation in the shoulder, but I don't want to tense up anything too soon, and I don't want to use any muscles that aren't necessary, right? So when I throw it, again, conserving my energy, properly timing the tensing of the muscles. So when people talk about timing, to me, it's not just about timing with me and my opponent, finding an opening and taking it. It's timing of when to triangulate my fingers, when to tense up the lat muscle, the forearm muscle, when to shoot this shot. And again, freeze in this position is something I do all the time, just to check in right here. Is my balance correct? Do I got too much weight on the lead leg? Not, feel pretty good. Are there muscles that don't need to be activated, tensed up right now? Yeah, I actually feel a little bit in my left side that I can loosen up. Cool, so I still got protection with my hand up, but I'm not wasting any energy. Good connection point. My forearm is tightened up, my lat is tightened up, and then bang, right back to guard. I do the same thing with the jab now. Again, wasted energy. Any muscles tight that don't have to be? No, feel pretty good. Good connection, good finger alignment, good wrist alignment. Right back. Now I start to pick it up a little bit. And you would carry on from there. All right, so give it a try. Grab yourself a pair of gardening gloves. Start off with that low power, right? Low impact, and then you can gradually work your way up. All right, everybody, there you have it. Now, again, the number one thing I want to emphasize here when it comes to training bare knuckle or with just gardening gloves on is you have to be mindful of your levels of power, the impact, and also just check in with your hand after every punch that you throw, making sure that you have proper wrist alignment, that you're hitting with the correct part of your hand, and that you're not on the brink of injury, right? If you're doing a full 3-minute round, then I don't recommend going above 40% power. If you're going above 50% power, then that's when you would only probably hit the heavy bag for about 30 seconds. Give yourself a full minute rest, check in with your hand, make sure you're okay, make sure you're hitting that bag correctly, and then you can do another round or so. But again, it's a gradual process. The whole point of this is to condition the wrist, the bones in the hand, strengthen up the forearms, and making sure that your precision is correct when throwing these shots. But we still need to train with our boxing gloves on. So don't forget, we got 25% off for our Black Friday and the Cyber Monday deal on Fighttipsgear.com. That means our 12-ounce Velcro boxing gloves are on sale. They're normally $80. You can get them for $60. We got the double end bag, normally $60. Get that bad boy for $45. We got windbreakers, got the shorts, got other attire and gear. So take advantage, grab yourself some new stuff, and grab someone a gift for the holidays. Links down below. Until next time, I'm Shane with Fight Tips for the Underdogs.